Welcome to another review, this time Piko Expert model in newly released paint scheme of one of the private Polish operators, Koleje Mazowieckie, and this locomotive is classified in Poland as EU47. Okay, so this is the new Piko Expert, or newer Piko Expert packaging. Sleeve, that's the box. There's a unique feature here with secondary box or envelope containing all the model related informations and manuals, and the model is packaged in plastic box with another sleeve and cover. Probably one of the most intricate packaging on the market nowadays, thanks to Piko packaging R&D department. This is 100% ready to run model. There's no additional parts included with the model. And just as a background information, this locomotive is used in Poland almost exclusively as a push-pull operation. It consists with a set of double-decker cars, and the cars are painted in matching paint scheme. Obviously very nice. The overall paint quality is very good. There's very nice color separation. Here's the roof line. I'm finding this power rail here looking a little bit too plasticky. There's definitely that inclusion of grey silver paint in that plastic looks artificial. This is one of the Pantographs, and just to give you a perspective, this is about 5 years old Piko starter set locomotive, and this locomotive seems to be equipped with the same Pantographs as the EU47, which was released as Expert. And just to compare, this is very similar model by Rocco. This is another Piko Expert model with very nicely executed pantograph. These railings here and on the sides, they're just molded over. They are integral part of the shell, so they're just 2D, not see-through. And same thing is here with the windshield wipers. So the bottom part is integral part of the shell, they're molded over, and then the second part is part of the window. There's tiny gap right on the edge, but barely visible. Overall they look quite good. It's just simply they are not separate parts added on. Here at the bottom, the armature, the air hoses, you can see some of the valves and so on, they end right with the line of a frame. On the Rocco model and the older Piko Expert model, you have an option of adding the additional parts here at the front, the air hoses and the valves. This model doesn't have this option. There's nice level of details on the bogies and the suspension. There's also quite a few details here. Traction tire on this side. And there is another one right here. And the bogies and the suspensions are finished in flat black, which is actually very nice. In order to get inside the locomotive, if you want to install the decoder, this is the DC version, you have to remove one central screw here, and then there are 4 locks on each side of the bogies, here and here. According to manual, all you need to do is just simply spread both sides of the body once you remove that screw. So okay, I have the screw out. And according to manual, you should be able to spread just both of the sides here and open the locomotive. And this model, and you have to be very careful because there's a lot of details here on the edge. And this thing simply doesn't want to be open. I can't take the drive out, so I wedged the thin pieces of plastic to disengage all the locks. And it doesn't matter what I do, I just can't get that drive out. Another Piko model, also expert, just to demonstrate the difference. Done. I managed to open the model without any damage, but it wasn't pretty. I won't demonstrate how I did it because it wasn't healthy for the overall integrity of this product. Let's put it this way. I assume that this is a very isolated incident and it's something maybe not quite right with my specific model and product. One way or another, I think what is happening is that the internal drive is wedged here at both ends really hard, and you can actually see some scuffing of black paint on the body, and I think it's just simply getting stuck there, and you just simply cannot slide the whole drive and the chassis out. And here's another look at the connections here. They're actually nice detail, only 2D, but unfortunately they all end here with the frame. Pretty much industry standard, all metal chassis, 5-pole motor sitting right below circuit board. You can see the flywheel shining through the brass piece here. 2 shafts powering both bogies, then circuit board, 2 light panels, and then dedicated spot for a speaker. You can install either the standard speaker. This is the typical speaker that is coming with SO decoders, and there are 4 pins to hold the speaker in spot. Or you can install different shape if you wish, and there's enough space to accommodate different size of a speaker. There's additional space here for additional electronic components. Circuit board equipped with standard 8-pin decoder interface. This is not 22-pin. And this is a drive from another Piko Expert model released before this one. And you can see there's completely different level of sophistication here involved in electronics. This is very basic, simple circuit board with standard 8-pin interface. This is 22-pin interface, which is too bad because, like I mentioned earlier, this locomotive is mostly used in push-pull operations, so it would be nice to have an option of turning off one of the lights. There's simply no need of having a headlights while the locomotive is pushing set of double-decker cars. The good news is, as you can see, the front light panels, both of them are wired separately. It's not one integrated massive circuit, so if you want to play around and make some modifications as you install the decoder, perhaps you can have a manually soldered inputs. Here's a quick test with very basic, inexpensive decoder without the sound. So lights on, off, back, forward. And again, this is very basic, inexpensive decoder without any fine tuning. The drive is very smooth and quiet. So here's my personal conclusion. A very good paint quality, a very nice, quiet and smooth drive, and good price point. The details in the drive line here are actually quite good, all the pipes and the suspension, but I'm not impressed with the details on especially here on the front with the 2D railings. And my biggest disappointment is the electronics. I was under the impression that I'm gonna get 22-pin decoder interface. And interestingly enough, on the box you see the NEM 652 8-pin interface here. However, in provided manual clearly it says 51153 locomotive, Plax 22 interface. And what is inside, of course, is the 8-pin. Over the past year and a half, I purchased 4 Piko Expert locomotives. I'm very happy with 3 of them, and I'm disappointed because looks like this model is executed to completely different standard, which I did not anticipate it. So happy model railroading. Thank you. By the way, recently Rocco announced the release of exactly the same model in exactly same paint scheme with matching set of double-decker cars. And this model is anticipated to be on the market, I believe, in late 2019.